Hey, welcome to Clarity Tarot. Today's reading is going to be a pick a card about when something's going to happen. So these will be a quick read. We have 9 piles, and I realized I was looking around my house and I'm like, what can I use as items to pick piles today? And I realized I have a lot of sprinkles. Like, this is probably more sprinkles than any person needs to own, but I have 7 different sprinkle jars, and we have a couple other items. So pile 1 is going to be this gold shimmer sugar. Pile 2, these look like, I don't know, blue sprinkle balls, I guess. Pile 3, blue sugar. Pile 4 is rainbow sprinkles. Pile 5 is a mini Ukrainian flag. Anytime I want to make one of my baked goods patriotic, those come out. Pile 6 is a, what do we call this? I guess like a message tag to tie onto something for a gift. Pile 7 is an assortment. These are all different holiday sprinkles. Pile 8, we have yet another rainbow sprinkle, except these are little, they're tiny like ball sprinkles. And then pile 9, these are white. So take a moment and think about what might be your pile. Again, the question we're asking is, but when? When is this going to happen? So let's start with pile 1. Hi, pile 1. If you picked the gold sprinkles, let's look and see what you got. Knight of Cups. When? This is on its way to you. It's a love offer. Even if it's a job, these people adore you and can't wait to have more of a relationship with you. So it's coming. Be patient. There's no need to worry here. I'm going to pull another card to see if I can get like a more concrete timing. Okay. We have Queen of Swords and the 9 of Cups. So it's going to come your way after the, how do I say this? So it's a little bit different timing for each person, but the thing you will all have in common is you're not going to be in that super excited, like honeymoon mentality when it does come through. So if it's a job, you won't be thinking about it 15 times a day anymore. If it's a person, you won't wake up thinking about them and going to bed thinking about them every day. Like some of the emotionality will have settled a bit, but this is going to happen, and I am getting that it's going to be satisfying for you and you're going to be happy. And I think there's something about this emotionality settling that's going to be good for you also. You're going to be more in Queen of Swords energy, which is very strong-minded, very clear, very focused, and that's going to be a good thing here. So, great reading, pile 1, hang in there. It's all in your favor and coming your way. And I think the only thing here is just manage any feelings of impatience that you're dealing with. Okay? And let's move on to pile 2. Hey, pile 2, if you picked these blue sprinkles, let's see what card you have. 10 of Pentacles, but when is this going to happen? This is going to happen when you're totally happy and fulfilled, or when this other person is totally happy and fulfilled. So maybe you're asking about a person who's been having a lot of trouble, who hasn't felt like their best self, maybe for a while. And they don't want to look to you as the source of their happiness. They want to find happiness in their lives separate from you, because they know that if they come to you and expect you to make them happy, like that's just not going to work. This is actually a sign of maturity, pile 2. So whatever way this person took off in the past, which I'm getting probably for most of you was not so great, they got the message, they got the hint. They understand, like, oh, it's me, I'm the problem here, and I'm being codependent on pile 2, and I need to figure out a healthier way to be in this relationship. This person's going to then circle back once they feel that they have that figured out. So there's a few of you watching where this might be you, where you're realizing that you're putting too much expectation for someone else to make you happy on the relationship. And so this is going to come back around and be a healthy situation when you find happiness outside of it. But either way, the when question is, when is this going to happen? It's going to happen when one or both parties heal their expectations that they have of the other person. And I mean, that could be weeks, that could be years. Is there anything else you can tell us, Spirit, about the timing of this for the majority of people watching here, pile 2? Anything else about timing for pile 2? We have 8 of Swords. That could be 8 hours, 8 days, 8 weeks, 8 years. I mean, whichever one of those numbers seems to make sense to you for your situation, I would say go with your gut on that. And this is your reading, pile 2. Hope it was helpful. Leave a like, comment, or subscribe, and see you next time. Okay, pile 3. If you picked the blue sugar sprinkles, let's find out. But when? Ace of Wands in reverse. When is this going to happen? When this person gets tired of running, I'm hearing, when they tire themselves out. You know, the image I'm getting right now is of like a little kid, either like a 2-year-old who, I forget what this is called, this dynamic, but all of us, when we're around that age, it's like we're exploring our environment, but our nurturing figure, usually the mother in most cases, is kind of like the anchor. So it's like you go out and explore, you wander off, then you come back to the home base, to the nurturing figure of the mother. Then you wander off and you come back when it gets too scary or overwhelming, or when you're kind of depleted. And you know, this is reminding me of a poem by Rumi that I really love. And I'll try to link it in the description because it's really beautiful. But it basically says, like, exhaust yourself, and once you've done that, then come back to me. And it's like a message from God to the writer of the poem, and it's like a love letter. It's really beautiful. So this person needs to try and fail elsewhere. This might be somebody who's a little bit prone to like grass is greener syndrome. It's also reminding me of a person that I've had some, I wouldn't say conflict with, but some discussions with recently where I think they just could not hear what I was trying to say at all and were quite reactive. And it's almost like they need to go tell their side of the story to a few people, sort through their thoughts and feelings before they're able to come back and have a conversation with me, if they ever do. So it's kind of like that kind of a thing. Like, this person needs to, whatever growth or experience they need to make this a more positive situation, they can't get from you. And I think you sense this, pile 3. I think you know that, like, you might even have the point of view of like, go, be free. Like, I'm not trying to hold you down. Like, I'm not trying to repress you in any way. Like, in literally no ways am I trying to do that. So let's see if I can get more of a sense of like timing on this for most of you. So the what is, it's going to come back around after they've exhausted themselves. 2 of Pentacles. Maybe they're juggling a few things right now. I'm getting now the scenario of maybe this is romantic and this person has another partner or multiple other partners. They're going to come back when they're done playing, when they've exhausted themselves with that, and they've like gone down that road, learned exactly where it goes, and are over it. Anything else about exact timing for pile 3? Ace of Swords. It's going to be when the truth hits them, because I think there's something that you are very calmly holding out for them to see. It might have been a mirror, it might have been like a simple truth. And I think other people have tried to hold this out to this person in the past. But there's something about your delivery, about the way that you said it. Maybe it was your calmness, the fact that you clearly were just like, hey, I'm just trying to actually connect to you and help with you here. Like, I'm not trying to injure you. You don't have to listen to what I have to say, but here's the deal. And this person just kind of is spinning out about it. But they're going to come to the truth of what you were saying and circle back around. And I feel like for this pile, everyone's in a different situation in terms of like how much of the truth they've been able to digest, but it's at least 10% for everybody. So even if you had this conversation with this person yesterday, it's starting to sink in. And in terms of when they're going to come back around, like think about what you know of this person. Are they pretty quick with that? Does it take them a long time? Do they need years to learn simple lessons? If so, it's going to be a long time. But I am getting that this person is going to come back around, at least energetically, meaning if this person has a huge ego, they might never actually come talk to you and say, hey, you were right. But in their energy field, in their perspective, in their remembering of you, they will acknowledge that to you and you will be able to feel that. I hope that doesn't sound too crazy to you, pile 3. But you will actually feel the shift in the way that they feel towards you. And for others of you, they will come back around and say, like, I see what you're trying to say now. I'm going to ask one more time because I keep asking for more specifics and I keep getting generalities. So, Spirit, are you saying that there's just no way to tell exactly when this is going to happen? Or what more can we give pile 3? Whoa, I just got about 15 cards. To me, that's saying like every situation's a little bit different, but let me see. We have 9 of Swords. This reminds me of the phrase, like, it's on some kind of oracle deck. It's like I'm learning that worry does not change an outcome. Like, you thinking about this, you getting tarot readings about it is not going to speed anything up. Like, this person has to figure this out, has to do it themselves, and then has to come back to you. And if you're wondering if you should take any action towards them, I'm getting a pretty clear no. Like, the action you've taken has been the right action, and it's too much for them to digest yet. They're still processing and they're still moving through it. So let them do that. Let them process it and move through it. Like, you can rest easy that you've done what you needed to do, pile 3, and that this person has taken what you've given and isn't wasting your gift. Let me just put it that way. They're not wasting it. Okay, pile 3, this was your reading. Yeah, interesting reading, especially with a title like, but when is it going to happen? And the reading's like, well, I can't tell you exactly when, but sometimes that happens. Hope you understand. Pile 3, leave me a like, comment, or subscribe, and I'll see you in the next reading. Okay, pile 4, we've got the rainbow sprinkles. These are, I don't know, what shape would you call these? I don't know. Long John sprinkles? I'm not sure. So when is this going to happen? Page of Swords. It was wanting to come up reversed. I'm going to say this is not going to happen in the sense that, like, whoever you're asking about, this person is a watcher. They're an observer, not a doer. Maybe you've already had problems with this person because of this dynamic. Like, they don't make a move until they're 100% sure. And I'm hearing that whatever situation they're in with you right now, it's impossible to be 100% sure. So there's something, it's like they will forever watch and never take a step. This is really frustrating, actually. Because, there's some things in life that just don't respond to observation. Like, you only learn and you only move out of the energy when you take a step. And this person is like refusing to see the truth of that. in this scenario at least. What else for pile 4, please, Spirit, is important to know? 7 of Swords. Yeah, they're lying to themselves. They're lying to you in some way. Maybe you've even caught them in lies before. Death in reverse. King of Pentacles in reverse. This person doesn't want to change. They want what they want without working for it. How do I explain this? The examples I'm getting are kind of like more of a dating context. And this is the person that like presents themselves as all together, as emotionally stable, as financially well off, as a good friend, as a good employee, as a good community member. But they're none of those things. And they're not willing. They think like presenting themselves that way is the work, which stems from, this is going to get deep. With this person, they have a core belief that like all people are flawed, all people, it almost sounds like all people are evil. You know how people have different frames of mind about like, are we born good? Are we born evil? What happens when people do bad things? Who are we really at the core? And this person, I think, believes that they are bad and that all people are bad. And so the best that anybody can do is look good, which is its own kind of messed up, right? Pile 4. I mean, it's kind of sad. I would not want to be in this person's life and world, because how depressing is that? I mean, even if that is true, even if that is the reality of life, I wouldn't want to live that way, because I would just, I don't know. It's very depressing and hopeless. So, I think they also have a strong belief in fate. So kind of like, oh, well, if it didn't work out with pile 4, it's not meant to be. I'm also getting this mentality of like, well, you knew who I was when I married you, or it's very, there's no accountability here whatsoever, because there's no belief in change. There's no belief in, there's no belief in health either. Like this person, this might be a message for one person. This person might even have one or more health conditions that they just don't take care of, because they have this like fatalistic view on it. Like, well, if it's going to kill me, it's going to kill me. Yeah, I have cancer, but I'm not going to do any treatments. Or yeah, I have diabetes, but who says I have to manage it? People thousands of years ago didn't have to manage it. And they just either lived or died. Like it's very sad. Sad is the word I want to use, because this person is it's like they have their foot on their own neck. And so even though they feel a beautiful connection with you, they feel like things either work or they don't. And right now they don't work. And they're not going to do anything to change that. So, I mean, you could jump through hoops to make things work for this person and with this person, but you'll be doing that forever. Wow. Okay. Anything else about this for pile 4 with timing? I mean, the message we're getting is that they're not going to work out. That they're not going to work out, that they're not going to come around. 2 of Wands. So the interesting thing with the 2 of Wands, like usually this card, there's somebody looking out over the horizon and they're looking to the right. But in this deck, they're looking to the left. And what I'm taking from that is that this person is looking to the past, not the future. So it's like, oh, I had some beautiful moments with pile 4. Weren't those lovely? I'll remember those and it'll make me feel better about my life today. But they're not even thinking about the future. They're not thinking about, should I come back? Should I do something different? Like it's not in their worldview. And this must be immensely frustrating for you, pile 4, because, wow, this person just, not just with you, but any small steps in their own life, like they're just not willing to take them. Yeah. I mean, if I knew this person, I would refer to them to all kinds of healing services, psychological, physical, and otherwise, because this seems like a very deep-seated wound and worldview that's, I mean, it's poisonous. Like with the health thing, like it could literally, it could have such a negative impact on their life in so many ways, not just with you. So I'm sorry for the bad news, pile 4, but when is this person coming back around? They're not, at least at the time of getting this reading. Feel free to check back. I think that tarot readings are good for maybe 4 to 6 months. It's like whatever the energy is currently, we're reading that, and but that can change. So, and I really hope it does change for this person, just in terms of their life, like they deserve a life. Everyone deserves a life. And doesn't feel like living to me, what was coming through that pile. So like, share, subscribe. Hope to see you in the next one, pile 4. Thanks for coming by. Okay, pile 5. If you picked the Ukrainian flag, hooray, Slava Ukraini. And we're asking, but when? 4 of Cups. So the message of 4 of Cups is that you're focused on what doesn't matter. So, and I'm thinking about the conflict with Russia and Ukraine, probably because of the flag. And this is my point of view, okay? But like from Russia's side, it feels to me like there's this real fixation on like, well, I said I was going to do this, and I want these areas of land, and so I'm just not going to give up. I'm not going to say no. Like, I want this. I deserve it. I'm going to take this territory that doesn't belong to me. And what's not being seen is that there are better options. What's not being seen are the damage that's being done because of this. Because there's this fixation on like, well, this is the best thing. Like, the best outcome is that I get everything that I want. So there's something about compromise and understanding and negotiation that needs to happen here for those in this pile. When is it going to happen? It's going to happen when both of you are willing to compromise and concede a little bit. And this is hard. This is really hard, actually. It requires a lot of swallowing your pride, being willing to see that maybe you don't have the exact right perspective on everything. The other example that's coming to mind right now is like a parent-child dynamic. Like a classic one is the parents saying like, you need to be careful, you're being reckless. And the child saying, you're being too controlling, I just want to live my life. Both of them have a point and both of them are overdoing it, but they typically refuse to see the ways in which they are overdoing it. So I think the invitation for you here, if you picked pile 5, is to ask yourself, like, in what way am I overdoing it? Like, maybe the core of my message is sound, so if it's the parent-child dynamic, like maybe my child is being a bit reckless, but how can I see what's important about this to them? How can I see the validity of their side? And that might be a good thought exercise for you too. Like, what is valid about the other person's point of view? Not what's wrong with it. Like, that's easy to see and it's easy to react to for all of us, but what's right about it? What do they have a point about that I'm not willing to see? So when that happens, when you're able to do that and when the other person is able to do that, is when this is going to change. And I'm hearing somebody in my head right now say like, well, they'll never do that. Like, this person will never see my point of view. They'll never relent. And actually that's okay, because just by you changing your stance, that makes a change. For example, again, with the parent-child thing, let's say you're the parent and you go to the child and you say, look, I've been thinking about what you said and you're right that I am coming on too strong and I am being too controlling. It is still important to me that you're safe, that you don't take risks. And I understand that it's too much the way I'm approaching this. So can we talk about how do you see that value? Like, what's important to you about not taking risks? What is that line for you? And can we come to some understanding or alignment that meets both of us? And that child might never come back and say, yes, I was being reckless, but you're still able to get your needs met, because there's something magical that happens when you come to someone you've been fighting with cap in hand and you say, look, I listened to, and you're right, it was a little bit much what I was doing. That can have a magical impact. So one or both of you need to initiate that. Let me ask the cards more about that to see if there's anything else. What else for pile 5, Spirit? Anything that you want them to know? The King of Wands. Remember this person's nature. So there might be some criticism you have or some frustration you have that it's like, it's who this person is. This reminds me of the principle that like when you get into a long-term relationship, the things that you're really drawn to about the person are the things that annoy you long-term. So it's the very things that you love about somebody that just become too much. Because usually it's like a big part of their personality and usually it's a little overdone, whatever it is. And in this case, the person you're talking about is the King of Wands. It means they're impulsive, they're fiery, they're an adventurer, they're an entrepreneur, they love to start new things, they love the honeymoon phase of anything, and maybe maintenance and tough conversations and routine are just not their thing. So I think Spirit's encouraging you to do some more acknowledgement of the character of the person that you're talking about and wanting to take a certain action towards you. And is that realistic? You know, or do they even have the skills? Maybe this is a person that has even told you that none of their relationships work out, that they always have all these fights they can't resolve. You know, they might have a real skill deficit in working through something and collaborating with somebody. And as annoying as it is, I mean, this is, again, it's reminding me of Ukraine and Russia again. It's like one side just literally does not have the ability to negotiate, to collaborate, to lose face. And so depending on how extreme that is, there's a question for you. What price am I willing to pay to be right? Is it more important to me to be right than to have this person in my life? Because if they push things too far and I just can't stomach it, then maybe I'll have to say goodbye to them. Or is this something I can live with and then I can negotiate if I can have a conversation with them where we, at least in principle, align on my side also being valid as well as theirs. So let's draw a card now for timing. So for pile 5, please, Spirit, okay, that's jumping right out. 9 of Wands. So you're almost at the end. Oh, I really hope this reading is for the war. So 9 of Wands is the Wounded Warrior card. It's about nearly being at the finish line. It's just right around the corner. There's not much further to go. So to me, this would be like 9 hours, 9 days, 9 weeks, or maybe a small percentage of you, but this is more on the faster side, I would say. This is going to get resolved. Okay, pile 5. This was your reading. I hope it was helpful for you. Please leave me a like, comment, or subscribe, and I will see you next time. Hey, pile 6, if you picked this message address, I don't know what to call this thing. If you picked this thing, here's your reading. And the question is, but when? Okay, so a couple messages coming through this. 8 of Cups is about leaving something behind. So when is this going to happen? When you leave the other thing behind. When are you going to run off into the sunset with your new boyfriend? When you break up with your other boyfriend? When is this new thing going to come into your life, the new chapter, when you fully close the old chapter? You know, an unfortunate thing about new chapters is they almost never show up until we've totally gotten rid of the old one. Like, wouldn't it be nice to, while you're in the midst of your old chapter, see the new chapter bubbling up? And so you can just transition from one to the other, like really seamlessly without any pain. That would be awesome, and usually it's just not how it goes. So the action you could take to make this happen faster would be that thing in your life that you know needs to end it now. Don't wait for the next thing to be there. And I'm about to give you some controversial advice that you should only take with a grain of salt based on your situation, because it's not for everyone. But if this is about a job and you believe in the principle you should never quit a job until you have another job, which, by the way, I generally agree with, because who can go for a few weeks without working? Like, most people don't have that kind of money. In this situation, there's something about your workplace that it just needs to go. It just needs to go, pile 5. And if that message is for you, you will understand what I'm saying. You already know that inside yourself. It may not be money, although it could be money for some of you, but like it's draining you somehow. It's damaging you. Every day that you go, it's like it slows you down, it sets you further back. It makes your new beginning one day further down the road. So the new thing is going to come in. It's going to happen when you fully let go of this and take that leap off the cliff. I'm hearing leap of faith. When I first picked up this card, what flashed through my mind as well is, well, this isn't going to happen. Like this person, this opportunity has like moved on. But I don't actually think that's true. I think that's how it feels to you, pile 6. I think you feel like there's no hope here. Nothing different can happen. But it's because there's this thing in place that's blocking. And I think you underestimate how big of a block it is. So nothing will happen in this situation until you get rid of this other thing. What else for pile 6, please, Spirit, should you let them know about the timing? When's this going to happen? The Tower in the reverse. I think this is, again, talking about this thing in your life that needs to fall down. Like sometimes we have the option to leave something, and if we don't leave it, it will eventually fall apart. Like this thing will never fall apart. It's going to have to be a choice that you make to leave. It's giving me the impression of a job. Like they're never going to fire you. If you're waiting to be fired, they're never going to fire you. It will have to be you leaving. What else, Spirit, for pile 6? Anything else you want to tell them specifically about timing? Like, when will this happen? Let's say that pile 6 does make this change and does walk away from this thing. What then? What then will be the timing? We have the Sun. Well, you're going to immediately feel better when you do that, first of all. 5 of Swords. It's the right thing to do. 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, you need to make yourself independent. You're not going to be judged or heartbroken for this. I think you have some kind of idea of what's going to happen when you make this choice, and it's not going to be what happens. And I'm hearing it might be painful for a day or two, but you're going to be shocked how fast you get over it. So even though you're here asking about like, but when, I think you're very fixated on this exit and the pain that you might feel and how negative it could be. And Spirit's really saying like, no one's going to judge you for this. Like, this is not a bad thing. Like it's healthy to walk away from this. And, you know, the first immediate result is going to be the Sun. I mean, this is the most positive card in the deck. It's like everything is going to be opened up to you immediately. I'm getting this as really pretty immediate, like day one. Like maybe the first day you break up with that person or leave that job or move. Maybe the first day will be hard, but the second day, all sunshine. All sunshine and possibilities. So don't wait, pile 6. It's time. This was your reading. I hope this was helpful for you. Please leave me a like, comment, or subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Hey, pile 7, if you picked all the different choices, this is going to be your reading. I guess I'll put it like that here. But when is it going to happen? 2 of Cups. It's already happened. You're already there. Why are you at this reading? I'm getting a sense of like impatience. This is like you've been hired, but they haven't sent over the contract yet. You're with somebody and you're engaged, but you haven't been married yet. It's like there's a little bit of future fixing here. Like you're just wanting it to be done already. And I think what Spirit is saying is like, enjoy the process. Like enjoy these beautiful moments you have right now. If you're engaged and not married, like I know it's almost impossible, but enjoy your last few days, months, years, like being single. Think about all the things that you won't be able to do if and when you're in this job, in this new place, or married to this person, and throw yourself into those now, because today, at the time of you getting this reading, today is not the time for you to be at that job yet, or for you to be in that relationship in that way yet. It's right here. It's going to happen. Nothing can stop it in a way. Like nothing can stop it. And also, things are still arranging. So if you, and what I'm hearing, and don't shoot the messenger, is if you continue to fixate on this, it's actually going to sour the experience a little bit, because you're going to feel impatient. You're going to have expectations about this or that, because you've been thinking about it so much. And it's human. It's okay. There's no shame in this, pile 7. It's just like, don't ruin this amazing thing you have by fixating on it too much. If you're planning a wedding, like throw yourself into finding the perfect outfit for the wedding, or the guest list, or the ways that you want to make your guests comfortable at the event. You know, focus on things that aren't the ultimate thing that you really want. And that way, like, you're still close to the energy that you want of this partnership with this person, but you're still staying in the present. Because right now, all of your energy is like focused on the future. And whatever is present in this relationship, like, allow yourself to feel it. Like, even if you're not married yet, if you're engaged or just dating, like, there's a lot of beauty here. And there's nothing wrong about this situation, not at all. Nothing to be afraid of, nothing to be prepared for. Like, it's right, it's time, it's happening, it's coming. What else for pile 7, please, Spirit? We have the Hermit. Anything else for pile 7? Ace of Cups with Queen of Cups on the back. Yeah, everything is so good here, pile 7. I feel like your life is about to get a whole lot more visible and social, and this could literally be like you living by yourself versus moving in with a partner, or you being unemployed to being employed in a big office. Like, very soon your life will not be your own anymore. So these are the days, months, years to really focus on everything that you want, your inner pursuits, your emotional and spiritual interests, which is what I get with the Hermit. And live your best life. Take yourself on a one-day road trip. Date yourself. Whether this is personal or professional, the question you're asking, I really am getting the sense that, like, you should take yourself out on some amazing dates in the next few days or weeks until this all comes together. And in terms of the timing, like, when is it going to happen? I think you already know. If you don't know an exact date, you have a date range, and it's really not the point. You don't need to obsess about that. Like, for at least one of you, When you're done with this reading, you're going to get, or even during the reading, you're going to get a phone call or a text about a date, if it's like a start date or something. So it's all coming together, nothing to worry about. Everything's good. And enjoy this. It's beautiful energy, pile 7. Enjoy it. And if it's a relationship, congratulations to you. It's really beautiful. Okay, pile 8. Let's see. The question we're asking, if you picked the little ball sprinkles, we're asking, but when is it going to happen? Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Well, this isn't going to happen because it's not growing. There's something about the soil here. This cannot grow. Let me give you some examples. I mean, literally, if you're trying to plant a garden, there's a problem with the soil. So that would be a message maybe for one of you out there. But if it's a relationship, like you're not on the same page, you're not on the same foundation. Like maybe you want just a fling and this person wants long term or vice versa. So it's just, it can't grow because you're not aligned on what you want. Likewise, if it's a project at work, like maybe you want something different than the leadership wants, and so it can't grow, it can't flourish, it can't function because of that. What else here? Yeah, like with the other groups, I pulled a lot more cards. I'm really feeling led in this one to not do that because I think you're just here for an answer. Like, why isn't it growing? It's not growing because it can't. Like, it's literally, I don't know, a daffodil in sandy soil or a palm tree in clay soil or something where it's uninhabitable. It cannot grow. And so you would need to check out a different reading to understand more about why that is, I think. But actually, let me just pull one card. Why, for most people watching this group, why is it impossible for this thing to grow here? 5 of Cups. 8 of Wands. If this is a partnership situation, whether work or personal, this other person is immovable. Like, you want things to grow, you want things to move forward, and this person is stuck in the past. They're not even in the present yet, much less willing to like plant something to grow in the future. Like, this person's in survival mode. So your option is to be with them in survival mode, try to do some soothing, some healing, so that they can start to hope or dream again, or to let this go and plant something somewhere else. But as long as this person, and this could be you, the roles could be reversed, but as long as this person is fixated on the past, nothing can grow. Okay, pile 8, that was your reading. I hope it was helpful. Leave me a like, comment, or subscribe. I will see you in the next reading. And last but not least, pile 9, we are looking at when is this going to happen? 10 of Swords, yikes. When is this going to happen? Well, it's over, actually. There is no... The worst is over. So if you're here, okay, let's say you're here and you just had a bad breakup with somebody and you're wondering, like, when's that person going to come back around, or when is my new beginning going to happen with somebody else? I'm drawn to the sun that's here on the horizon. It could be rising or setting, but I'm actually getting the message that it's rising. So like the betrayal, the stabbing in the back, the utter desolation and ruin that you've experienced, and I'm so sorry that you've had that. Like, this is a really intense card, especially the way it's just hitting me right now. That is over. That is never going to be your experience again. Not like that. Never like that. You will never let it get to that before. This has been too painful a lesson. Or again, sorry. You'll never let that happen to you again. And so there is a bright new beginning happening here. I think you have a lot of healing and repair to do within yourself because of what you experienced here. I think you were with whether you've been able to use this term yet or not, you were in a very abusive situation, whether this was personal, professional, family, whatever it was. And what I'm feeling led to say is, I did not want to say this. So you were in an abusive situation, and the reason it's never going to happen again is because you're going to figure out that there were some things that you could have done to stop it faster, get out sooner. And I'm in no way trying to victim blame. Like, trust me, I've been in many of these situations too. And it's almost like there's no way to learn or to know it until you've gone through it. And you see just how clearly unreasonable and selfish others can be. Okay. Oh man, I thought I was going to get through a whole reading without having to tell stories about myself, but here I am in pile 9. It's so close. It really took some very negative experiences for me to believe and learn that not everybody is like me. Like I typically think of all people as reasonable. All people, whether they get triggered here or there or not, like all people are generally cooperative and pro-social and want the best for themselves and others. And so most of my life, I've kind of taken that approach. And I've had some situations, especially at work, actually, although my personal life as well, but especially at work, I just have not had as strong of boundaries as I have in my personal life. And I just got into some really bad spots where other people who were selfish and did not have my best in mind and were wanting to use me actually for their own agendas, caused a lot of damage to me, to my reputation, to my sense of self, my self-esteem, to my career path, I would say. And the part of that that's mine to own, that's taken me a very long time to see, is that I noticed that about those people very early, that they were like not my kind of people. They didn't meet my standards in a couple ways, like especially like the cooperation and the generosity. And it's like I thought that my generosity would be enough because I have so much and I'll just make up for, every relationship is give and take, right? I'll just be giving that part. They'll be bringing something else to the table. And I had to learn through some of those experiences that actually some people there is no partnering with. There's only avoiding or managing around or protecting yourself from, and that is wisdom, actually. So I'm getting something similar for you here. And the message, I think the important thing to come through here for you to know is it will never be like that again. Like it literally can't be that bad again because you have learned this lesson so deeply that you will not ever give someone this degree of access to you the way that you did this time. So I really hope that's coming through in a way that you're able to hear it, pile 9. Please, I just hope that you take me the right way. I'm really happy for you that you're not going to have to deal with these kinds of situations in the future because this was really bad. So the question of the reading though is, but when? Like when is that thing going to happen? And let me see if there's anything else, any cards Spirit wants to clarify. Is there anything else about when this will happen? I'm really getting with that rising sun, like it's here, like your new beginning is here. You're just also still healing and feeling everything you went through, giving yourself compassion. What else for pile 9, please, Spirit? I got a bunch of them falling out. 10 of Cups, Page of Wands, Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, 7 of Cups, the Chariot, and the Hanged Man. Yeah, like you're on your way. It's all happening. 4 of Swords in reverse. Like there is no waiting. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. It will never be like it was. And for some reason, this thing that you went through is part of your 10 of Cups. And what I mean by that is something has shifted in you because of this experience that is going to make your future happiness all the more complete. There's something that was happening and that made it possible for you to get caught up in this dynamic that is no longer in you. Like I'm almost seeing like a scalpel and something being like removed, almost like a tumor. I don't like that image for this message, but it's the one that I got. So I relay the message. Can I just say, sometimes it's really uncomfortable to be a tarot reader because you say things that, like, I wouldn't want to say it quite that way. I feel like that's too harsh. I feel like that's not exactly correct. So hang on one second. I want to pull a card for myself in this reading. And thank you for your patience, pile 9. If this is your first time on my channel, this happens every now and then. I need to give myself a little support while I'm reading. 8 of Pentacles in reverse, King of Swords in reverse. So Spirit is telling me, like, it's not your job to get it right or to get it perfect. And sometimes things come across in a blunt or harsh way, and that's exactly what's needed. And so it's your job as the reader to just trust that whatever was said here will land for who it's meant to land for. So I needed that reminder. So thank you. Thank you for listening and witnessing. So, but when? It's here. Your new beginning is here. Your new life is here. If this was a romantic relationship that you broke up with a person and now you're looking for somebody new, that person is on their way to you. This to me is like weeks or months, not years. So I would put it like 6 months at the longest. Last story from my own life. So I'm married. I've been married for 18 years. I was engaged to someone else before I was married, and it was my first time being engaged. I was very much in love. I loved this person, and things spectacularly fell apart. It was just not a good match in the end. And the lesson I internalized from the breaking up of that relationship was, okay, my picker is broken. What I thought I wanted obviously isn't what I want, because that didn't work out. And so I started like dating anyone and everyone, whereas in the past I had like very exacting standards. And I actually met my husband, like, I want to say 6 or 7 weeks later, which was too soon for me personally, because I had promised to be with somebody. And I met this man who I'm now married to, and it was a whirlwind immediately, like just totally such a good fit for each other, like a gift from God in so many ways. So many synchronicities and beautiful things happened. And I was like, whoa, this is so soon. It was hard for me. It was extra hard for my family. They're like, our daughter is crazy. Like, she was just engaged and now she's talking about this other guy she wants to marry. And we actually were married within a year. But I'm getting something like that here for you, pile 9. Like, this is fast. Like, it's practically here. I wouldn't worry about the timing at all. Like, the thing that took forever was for you to go through this experience that is now over. And now you're in the time of the rising sun, of the sunshine, of the change, of the reward. I'll use that word, of the reward of what you've had to weather. Wow. Well, I'd love to hear from you, especially those of you in pile 9. If any of this resonates, or even if it didn't, I'd be really curious to hear that. Please leave me a like, comment, or subscribe. I wish you all the best. This looks amazing, actually. The future is bright, and you have created it, pile 9. Thanks so much for coming by. I'll see you in the next video.